congratulations, or I don't know what to say, but it's a special date for sure. We're all here to discuss what we've done in the last 6 months, to share more with the community, to have more transparency. So that's awesome. And we had a special event for this, and I think we are, at least I am, very excited to see the reports and the ideas for the future of each of the circles. Well, what is the agenda today? Well, I'll make it quick because we have a packed agenda. As you can see here, we have an initial introduction by deep funding, around 10 minutes. We'll go through the overall spreadsheets and overall financials for deep funding as a whole. And then we'll have each circle presenting a retrospective and also their ideas for the future, 10 minutes for each circle. And finally, we can have some room for important discussions, for any conversations the community and you guys would like to have about this topic. That being said, I think we can move forward with, I believe it's Jan doing the first introduction. Am I correct?
You are correct, even though that is not that obvious anymore these days. You should be expecting to see Raphael more in this role than me going forward. Raphael is the one who organized this health yearly cycle. Thank you, Raphael. And also congratulations to not only Raphael, but all of you on this amazing quick turnaround. I can't imagine less than 10 days or something. Maybe you knew that it was coming. Maybe you had some monthly rehearsals already with our monthly meetings, which is a good thing. But I think it's great that we can do this at speed, that we don't take 3 months to debate, but just give our current impressions. So big kudos to everyone and congratulations. Even though I haven't seen the result yet, I think that this impact, this effort is already great. I would like to take this opportunity also to mention shortly something about next week. Next week, we will continue the conversation on the reward structure. It might be that while working on the presentation for today, you already debated that with your circle as well. Might be that you still need to do that. I would like to articulate it a little bit better and ask you to think about your preferred reward structure. Could be the same as today, could be different. And we gave you some insights also on the all channels. There's some text on that. I would like you also to give the rationale behind it. So why do you want this? Is it better than what we have? What are the benefits? And I would like you to think a little bit about risks associated with it. I'm convinced that every solution comes with some risk, especially where rewards are concerned. And it would be, I think many of the times I can already, because I thought a lot about it, I can already think about what the risks are. But I also would like you to think about it. So if you propose something, think about what are the downsides, how could this go wrong? That will help us all to land on the best solution or the best solution per circle. This is a topic for next week, so I'll keep this very short. It all comes together in this one thing that we are building and forming this whole program together. The rewards are part of that. The strategy that I outlined last time in the town hall also is part of that. And these reports and outlooks for the next half year are also part of that. So yeah, I think this is a great celebration of the community at work and looking how we are doing things together. That's all for me. We have plenty of things to go through, so let's continue. Raphael, do you want to speak a few more words on this?
Yeah, thank you, Jan. Thank you. Yeah, just thank everyone here for being here, for developing this work, as Jan mentioned it, in a quick manner. Also to Victor, Rafael, Ayo in the event circle to putting this together. So yeah, I am quite excited with the time lead that we had to do this, and knowing that we are here, it's very satisfying, definitely. Thank you all. So yeah, without further talking, let's go to the stars of the night, let's put this way, right? Please go on, Rafael.
All right. Quick question, Rafael. Do you want to go first with the overall spreadsheet of the costs, or would you like the circles to start beforehand?
You are right. As I mentioned before, I might not be. So yes, please go on with the spreadsheet and Victor will introduce it, right? Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Victor, I guess you have the power.
Hello guys. I hope I'm clearer than the previous meeting. Um, um, so
Yes,
uh,
you are.
Thank you. So I was putting together the overview matrix of every cycle from July up until December, right? And we had 6 cycles for last half year, and it's dev outreach, event cycle, operation, review cycle, focus group, and then the marketing cycle. And the review cycle had the most members among all cycle. You should know why. They are one of the most important set of cycle in this organization because I mean they review milestone and they need to be a lot so that they will be able to review all the milestones that are coming in on a daily basis. And so this spreadsheet just gives you an overview of the number of hours and then the amount spent by each member of the circles. I had to blur their names so that it doesn't show up here. But yeah, their names are meant to be here. And the total amount for everybody. I'll just report to you that during the last half year, which is 2024, from July to December, deep funding spent about $70,000 on circles, right? And this amount here is not quite the total because focus group never sent in their payments for the half yearly due to some issues that they needed to sort out. And then, as at the time of collating these reports, some members of some circles haven't gotten paid for their December tax. So if you watch it here, some members were not paid for December. I think just operation sent in their payments and event circle and then dev outreach. But aside that, review circle, focus group, and marketing, they did not send in their payment as at the time this thing was um was worked on. And I'll be going to the number of hours. For every circle, there is a chart by the side, which shows you a visual representation of the hours spent by every circle. And I guess for each circle we are going to present right now, and they will give reasons why. Maybe, like, for example, this is the event circle. They should give reasons why they picked from November to December. I mean, this sharp um, rates increase in hours. And if I go to marketing, I think marketing had an average of about 200 hours per month. This 4 year is because, I mean, they were not recorded for December. That's what caused this decline here. But if you watch from July up until November, you will see that it's about 200 hours per month. And focus group, like I said, they did not record anything for last half year. Review circle, yeah, this sharp decline is still the same reason. They had about 200 too. Yeah, this is about 200 on an average. And I think it was climbing to about 250. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it will have continued this way instead of going down. And yeah, our awarded team circle was not functional during the last half year, so it's not there. And the operation circle, I think we picked around August, and part of the operation circle, that's why I'm using we. So we picked around August because, I mean, we will say our because when we are presenting for the operation circle, but yeah, operation circle peaked around August and then declines, and I think we started coming up around December for some reasons. And the event circle, yeah, like I said, they will explain why this happened from November to December. And then the dev outreach circle, I think this is the newest circle amongst everybody. And they had an average of about 100 until they peaked, which they will tell us why. So coming down here, we have like an average for everybody. This is average for each member of the circle. And then the total hours spent for the entire circle, aside the December and focus group that were not recorded, is 4,734 hours from July up until December. And the average is around 790 or thereabouts. Adding those circles, I think the average should go on to about 1,000 per month. Let me put it that way. And yeah, this is just for hours, like I said. And going down to the amounts, I had to still block members, their names here. And for the marketing, we had an average of about $3,000, ranging from 3,000 to 4,000. And yeah, I don't know, it was coming up and down, going up and down, and a sharp decline because I did not have their payments for December. And the marketing circle up until November spent about $15,200. The review circle had an average of about $3,000 too, same with the marketing circle, and it reflects on their amount too. It's almost same with the marketing circle, it's about $15,000 too. And the operation circle, like I said, we peaked in August and then we started going down slowly. But yeah, we had so far, I don't know, what we had about $18,000 net spend. This $18,000 is from July to December. For the previous circles, we have not recorded their December, so I'm thinking it should be more than the 15,000 that was recorded. And then for the event circle, yeah, their amount too peaked from November to December, just like their tax points or their hours spent. And the event cycle actually kicked off August. So their payments ranged from August to December. And total payment for the event cycle was 11,270. And then for the dev outreach, their payments, like their tax point, actually peaked during the month of November. I guess it's for the hackathon, but yeah, they will present and tell us why that's the case. And their payment is around $9,000 or thereabouts. And yeah, their payment was recorded from July up until December. So this is like an overview chart of the amount spent. This is the average for each member of the circle. Like, and then, like I previously mentioned, we spent about $70,000 for last half year and an average of 11,000 per month. Right. And this sheet actually gives us, I just needed to put all of them together so that I will have this, these charts, right? That's the reason for creating these sheets. And if you watch these sheets very well, I think the highest payments came from operation, which is around 4,200 around August. But if you also look at the chart very well, you will see that there are three groups that actually had their payments around $3,000 to $4,000, which is operations, marketing, and then review cycle. Their payments, they were stable from $3,000 to $4,000 throughout the month. And then the dev outreach and the event cycle actually had a different kind of charts. I don't know, but yeah, they actually have a different the different kind of charts. And this sheet also gives us the total for each of the circles. So 9,000 for dev outreach, 11,000 for event circle, 18,000 for operation, 15,000 for review circle. Okay, the focus group actually had some recorded, but it's nothing, but until the point that we stopped recording, event focus group actually had 450, and then marketing had 15,200. And yeah, I think that is it. And for the total spend per month, if you watch this particular charts, yeah, gives the average of spend per month for all circles. So if you look at this trend, you will see that we actually spent from $10,000 up until $15,000 for every circle for last half year, which is July to December 2024. So yeah, thank you. This is what I've been able to gather so far.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Victor. Very comprehensive. All right, cool.
Amazing work, Victor. Thank you very much for that.
Awesome. So I guess we can start with the stars of the show, which are the circles and the report, as you were pointing out, Raphael. And just I'll try to follow the order we naturally follow during the monthly report. And as such, let's start with the focus group if you guys are available. I don't know who is speaking for the focus group today or presenting.
That's the one thing we haven't actually sorted out. I mean, I'm happy to. I don't mind. Unless Ubio, do you want to?
No, Vanny, you go, and I'll do for dev outreach. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you want to share screen or shall I on our written report?
Yes, if you can. I don't have access yet to the written
Oh,
report,
I
so
don't know
I'll
if I
make
do
you
then. Okay.
I'll make you co-host if you could share it.
All
That would
right.
be great.
Thank you. Just a sec.
Or Victor, if you happen to have the written report and you want to share it, you can go ahead as well.
I mean, Van is
It's all right. Can everyone see that all right?
Yes, yes, Vanny.
Lovely. All right. So yeah, it's been mentioned a couple of times by Victor that we haven't put in a fund request for a little while, and I'll get to that. But yeah, financials and time spent. I mean, unlike many of the other circles, the bulk of our work is actually kind of meetings based, discussions, sometimes asynchronously, but often in meetings. We meet once a week with Jan and Raphael for a couple of hours, and then there's going to usually be additional meetings between ourselves, just as a three, or with others in deep funding. There's also some thinking work in discussion docs or interacting in our Mattermost channel. And at the moment, we're not organising any events like listening sessions or town halls as we sometimes used to last year, but we may do that at some point in the future. It's always a possibility. So yeah, we haven't submitted a funding request since July 2024, which is really awful, but it's because there was some confusion about how we were logging our hours. We thought that we'd moved to a monthly flat rate structure, and when Jan was saying earlier about the rationale for different approaches, the reason that we suggested was that each amount of work each month. But actually, we thought it had already been implemented, but it hadn't been. So we didn't put in a funding resource. So we do need to sort out and agree what the way is to process our payment. And in our meeting this week, I think we were concluding that a monthly flat rate is going to be the way to go. And the reason, the current process of logging our hours, it's often quite little micro engagements here and there. And the most critical part of our work is researching and thinking. And that can be really hard to capture in terms of hours. How much time did you actually spend thinking about this issue? It might have been in the back of your mind all day, So our costs for July 2024 onwards will be submitted soon, and we'll work it out as a flat rate per member We feel that's the best way for a circle that has a stable membership who all do roughly the same amount of work. So we could say that we're approaching that as an experiment to see whether that is a good way for that kind of circle, and we plan to keep an eye on it and see how well it works. Right, so on to retrospectives, our experiences, learnings, and insights. Our work over the last 6 months has been definitely marked by Tommy's hiatus. We're really glad to have him back now. Shortly before he fell sick, we had been saying how the dynamic of the three of us plus Jan and Raphael was working much better than our original size of 5 people plus Jan. And we just didn't feel that we actually wanted to look very assiduously for additional people. And we still feel this way, although we do feel that we may, at different points, bring in different individuals with particular expertise into particular meetings or particular little outside working groups that we might do. So it wouldn't be like being a member of the circle, it would just be like a way of drawing in other expertise. To look at what we've done over the last 6 months, we've covered a really wide range of topics, from RFPs to details of how Deep Funding Round 5 is going to run, and how they'll be shared with the community, the principle of decentralization and how to enact it, zero knowledge proof and identity solutions, all this kind of stuff. Most of our deliberations have been led by what comes up week to week for Jan and Raphael. And we feel that's quite important because we do need to be kind of immediately responsive to issues on the ground as they arrive. So our role as a sounding board has been our main focus lately. But in the background, we've also been talking amongst ourselves about how we see the role of the focus group in future. And we are pleased to say that we've consolidated it with Jan and Raphael's agreement, and that this is going to shape our plans for the next 6 months. So let's get on to that. That's our planned focus. Number one, continuing in our sounding board or advisory role. Firstly, we'll be doing that for Jan and Raphael as we do now in our weekly meetings, which means we'll be giving input and in some cases direct recommendations on hot issues as they come up. Also, we want to do this for other circles by making ourselves available at their invitation as an outside eye to help them thrash out any problems and discuss new approaches they might want to do. We did this successfully for the event circle some months ago, and we thought it was quite a good thing to do. So we intend to approach other circles with the offer, or circles can approach us. Our next focus is championing decentralization across the programme. Decentralization is a principle that all three of us care quite a lot about. So when we're operating in our advisory role, we plan to have that principle to the forefront and to use it as the core standard by which we assess new ideas and address problems. We also want to probably do a certain amount of decentralization auditing, just keeping an eye on how the principle is being implemented across deep funding. And then change management. In deep funding, we often say that we are experimenting, but that can only really be the case if, first of all, everyone is clear what the experiment actually is and what it's trying to test. Number two, if we are actually gathering some data to help us analyse whether the experiment worked and how people felt about it. So in this, we do see ourselves as working quite closely with the data analytics circle to get that data and look at it. But we also want to be increasing our work with the community to communicate what the aim of a change is and make sure people understand why it's being brought in, collect people's input before the change is made, and collect data on how people feel that a particular change has worked and what effects it has had. And for example, we plan to do some of this kind of work in relation to the changes around how different circles are paid. We do want to kind of keep an eye on how different circles feel that any changes have affected them, and like whether they think they made the right choice and this kind of stuff. So that's like a testing ground for us. Budget forecasting for the next 6 months. We envisage a budget of around 7,200 in total for the next 6 months, and that's kind of based on our previous budget requests and what we know we've still got to put in. So the main takeaways, first of all, collecting and analysing change data is important for decentralisation, for making sure communities are engaged with governance and with changes. And so looking at and analysing the impact of changes is the best way to understand what changes to make next. And we think this can be somewhere we can really make a strong contribution. We've actually decided what our key focus is. There has been quite a lot of time where we've given monthly reports where we've said, oh, we're discussing what the future role of the focus group is, and we feel like we've clarified it. And point number 3, finalization of payment systems for the focus group. This relates to what I've already said, a blend of soft responsibilities, which includes some sensitive information, often requiring research and private discussions among members, mixed with social channel readings, along with our responsibilities of kind of friction listening in meetings, high-level advisement, and focused action on developing decentralized initiatives for deep funding. Time measurement in minutiae is next to impossible, which doesn't fit the current system. So a standard monthly stipend system was suggested in Q1 for 2024, and discussion and debate has brought that number to around $400 monthly per person, which was finalised in the members' thoughts in Q2. So payment has lagged since Q3, and we need to rectify that. But that's about it. I hope that wasn't too long. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you, Vanny, for sharing so much. And it was great. It was great seeing what you guys are up to. Just, I guess we'll save discussions for later, and we can move forward to the next circle. And maybe we can go ahead with the review circle if you have somebody here.
I'm thinking the best thing would be if there are comments or questions, we take it immediately because for me, I'm sure I'm going to forget a lot after a particular set class passes.
Okay. If everyone thinks that's possible, we can do that, but we can do like at most like 3 minutes, or else we can really extend for like much after 2 hours if we do that.
Yeah,
Uh,
please. If we can put some a timer or something for us to track. And I would suggest also for you that has any questions or remarks to take a note and we are going to have about 30 minutes at the end to discuss. Okay. But thank you.
but yeah, if there's any questions, we can put like 3 minutes in and make it happen. If I know how to work with the timer. Any questions? Anyone? Or remarks also? Well, I
I
guess
didn't mean to hold your comments, okay, Ubio? It was just to but please, yeah,
No,
feel
no,
free.
no. I didn't want to comment. It just felt like probably there's someone that might also be in my shoe that probably the distance might make the person forget something. So that's why I had to speak up. But yeah, I think Vani actually explained everything like explicitly. So I don't think I have anything to add.
Awesome, awesome. And we can try to make 3 minutes in questions or something like that, just to try to respect your all time because 2 hours is a lot, I know. So making it 2 hours and 30 is even worse, right? But all right, so if there's no questions, let's move forward with the review circle. Who's going to be presenting today for the review circle?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Are you sharing the screen? Do you want me to make you co-host?
Yeah, sure.
That's all right. You ready to go? Please feel free.
All right. Okay. Yeah, can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so before going into the presentation, I'll just carve out the summary of the complete report. So for the previous 6 months of the review circle, we basically did quite some stuff that included experimentation and also some achievements and also insights that we have from the last 6 months in the review circle. And also we adapted to quite some stuff, which included mainly the expert reviewers and also their processes. So the start of the 6 month basically started with the contract finalization and the onboarding of the team's information. and checking that out. And yeah, that was from round four. And yeah, that basically started in July and concluded by the end of it. Then we started with the contract final. Then we basically started with the selection processes for the expert reviewers. Firstly, we started off with the technical aspect of the expert reviewers. So only technical reviewers were being selected and filtered out. But we then also introduced the non-technical expert reviewers as well, and made the selection for them as well. Then we had the project categorization for both things. First is for the expert reviewers, which are the fields for the round 5, which are being proposed. So categorization happened on that side. Then the categorization from deep funding previous round projects, which were in different fields of computer science and also in the marketing side. So yeah, categorization happened over there as well. So if you want to check projects in a specific field, either it's from marketing or from technical side, you can filter the projects out there now. So moving forward, then we had the onboarding of expert reviewers to the review circle processes, and that also includes the onboarding to GitHub project board. For that, we had multiple things ongoing. That is either the interview processes with the expert reviewers and also the onboarding processes, and also explaining them the complete cycle of how review circle revolves around, and how they that start from project details to milestone deliverables, and also reviewing them and then sending out the reports. Then we had a successful launch of the pilot program, which is basically onboarding the expert reviewers to actually go through the projects which were being reviewed by the previous reviewers, and yeah, check out like how teams tends to submit milestones and in what way they propose, and how they tend to deliver them, and yeah, basically getting them familiarized with the complete review circle processes. So yeah, that's the kind of the overview of the report. Moving forward with the part 1, that's financials and time spent. I'm just going to go directly to the chart. So as you can see, in July, we had the contract finalization and the onboarding of projects. So we peaked around there. At that time, then we saw a drop in August. That was due to because when the projects get onboarded, they start to prepare for their milestones, and they basically prepare to submit their milestones. So at that time, we didn't have that much amount of workload. So in that aspect of time, we worked on the Gitbook updates just for documentation for people to get easy with them, and also to be familiar with them. And yeah, basically updates there in the Gitbook. Then we had the peak going towards September month. That was basically due to submission of milestone deliverables, and also because we started preparing for round 5 and also started ideation on it. So September and October were these 2 months in which we did the ideation on that, which also include the expert reviewer, and yeah, how to onboard them, how to include them in the review circle and also in the round 5. Then in November, we basically onboarded the expert reviewers, and also we took the categorization initiatives as mentioned before, and that's why we have the peak over there as well. The same goes for December, which is not here. That's probably because we took the payments in January and not in December. Time spent, we basically have weekly meetings. Then we have the selection processes for expert reviewers, so that took some time. Categorization of projects from previous rounds, changes in processes, which mainly include the expert reviewers. Then we have the onboarding, training, and preparation for the pilot program. That's also related to the expert reviewers. Then on average, we reviewed around 16 to 9 milestone monthly. So that's also one of our time spent, and the coordination with the awarded teams is also part of it. Then we have retrospectives. One is from the coordinator side, and the second one is from the reviewer side. Reviewer's side, you can read it from their personal perspective. They have the documents attached over there, so you can check that out. I'll go through the coordinator's perspective. Um, Basically, it's the same. We categorize the projects from previous round and also for the expert reviewers in different computer science fields. Then we have the milestone reviews, which basically includes the auditing and the report sending and also checking the reviews at some point in time. Then we have the reviewer collaboration and expertise, which basically include the onboarding of the expert reviewers and gathering data and filtering out the reviewers which are feasible for the review circle or not. Then we have the pilot program implementation, which basically include the coordinators a lot in that aspect because we knew most about the current reviewers and their background, and also onboarding new reviewers if needed. That also includes training material and a video that was created for the onboarding of reviewers to the review circle. The challenges in this that we encountered were the delays in the onboarding process and the GitHub setup for the reviewers who are not on Mattermost or are new to defunding in general, and also the adjusting of new processes of expert reviewers. You can check out the reviewers retrospective from their reports from here. The plan and intentions that we have for the next 6 months is basically to scale the expert review program, which would include the onboarding of more reviewers to the pilot program, and also potentially increasing it to dual review system. Currently, we only have one reviewer reviewing a milestone that may change to 2, so we can have 2 perspectives of the same milestone deliverable. Then we have enhanced reviewer engagement. That would be basically onboarding workshops for reviewers and also to upskill the current reviewers with new processes if they take place. And yeah, introducing a feedback loop from the current reviewers to the new reviewers so we can know their retrospective, which is also being done through the retrospective as well. But yeah, it would be done as well. Then we have operational efficiency due to review circle working side by side with operations and also the new structure that was being proposed by operations. So yeah, we always work side by side with the operations team and yeah, always tend to refine our milestone reviews and delivery processes. Now round 5, it's an expectation that we want to basically carry out the round 5 as smoothly as possible and to prepare for it so everything can go smoothly. Then we have the budget forecast. Our budget forecast is almost the same as we had the last 6 months. We tend to spend on average of $3,200 per month on average. So due to round 5, we are proposing a contingency to increase it to $400 more. And we are proposing it about $3,671 per month because we know that there's going to be workload coming in round 5. So we are proposing this contingency budget. Other than that, it's the same that we had before. As it can be seen through this chart that we are averaging around 3,200 in most of the months, except for the one in August in which there was a decline due to onboarding of projects. The main takeaways from the reports are already the one that I mentioned, the streamlined project categorization that happened for expert reviewers and also from the defunding previous round projects. Then the achievement was the successful implementation of the expert reviewer pilot program, which is running right now, and it's it just got finalized, so it's running right now. Then we have the challenge was to actually onboard the reviewers and also to change the workflow to make them adapt to the review circle environment. So yeah, that's all from the review circle.
Thank you so much, Asad. Thank you. Very comprehensive once again. I don't know if anybody here has any questions for Asad or remarks. Jan, you raised your hand.
Yeah. Quick question. It's a question for now, but it's also a question for next time that we are going through this. Compliments for indeed in this short time frame, such a detailed report. It's great work, and it shows the great work that you're doing. And the reviewer circle is indeed one of, well, I don't want to talk about which circle is most important, but I do know that without a review circle, everything would grind to a halt. I also do know that my interference with the review circle is least of all of the circles for some reason, which is a good sign, I think. So compliments on all that things. The only thing I would like to remark or ask, the report is very quantitative. You list what you have been doing and you list what you will be doing. That's very insightful. But I don't hear too many qualitative things like this could be improved. Here we made a mistake. Maybe you didn't make any mistakes. We wish that we could develop more in this area or something. I can imagine that this is a little bit putting you on the spot, asking you this question right now, but it would help to. This is the stage to take a step back, also, right? Not only list what you're doing, but also think about, can we improve? Does it make it as happy what we're doing? Do we bring the value that we want to bring, both personally and professionally? So I'll leave it at that, and I'll leave it to you whether you want to answer this now or just take this as a remark.
Yes, I would like to answer it on some side of it at least. That is that we do take the challenges, but since not from the coordinator's perspective, because we know that because we know that what challenges we are facing. So it wasn't listed in the report, but from reviewers' perspective on what they think should be improved in the review circle and also the complete process part of it, we tend to ask them and make them actually include it in their retrospective reports. So if you open up the reports of the review circle members, they have actually listed the challenges that they faced and the insights that they have, and also the expectations that they want to be implemented in the upcoming 6 months or so in the review circle. So on that phases, we tend to implement them in the upcoming 6 months. So that's what we face challenges actually.
All right, so we'll be looking into those reports and would be very interested in reading them. Thank you so much, Assad.
Yeah, most welcome.
All right. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Assad. And if there's no more questions or remarks, let's move to the Dev Outreach Circle, which had a request to do it as soon as they could, as some members will need to leave. So Rubio, please take it over. Do you have something to share? All right. Yes, you're now co-host. Go ahead. You can share whatever you have to share.
Let me know if the screen is.
Now it is.
All right. So this is the report from the Developer Outreach Circle, the second half of 2024. So we start with the financials. In the period under review, the Dev Outreach has spent about 9,013.73 USD in total expenditure. That's for the, while the peak of the expense was actually in the month of November, where we spent about 2,119 USD. It can be recalled that this period is when we were actively undergoing the hackathon. Hence, a lot of time was spent and a lot of hours generally. Also, we spent about 12,000 USD to organize our first hackathon. So we, in this circle, we have both the circle expenditure and the project expenditure. So our first project actually cost us about 12,000 USD. That's what was budgeted, though we ended up spending 11,480 or so. All right, so retrospectives, experiences, learning, and insights. As a team, when we did our retrospective, so for us, we did the retrospective together. So I didn't just want to give my own personal opinion. So I wanted to see, we did all of this together. So I'm just basically reporting what we said. So as a team, when we did our retrospective to discover what was the key moment in the last 6 months, surprisingly, the team identified the following as the key moments and experiences. 1, team formation, cohesion, and culture. How we're able to create a formidable team and create a unique cohesion and team culture to get things done, even when we're just getting together for the first time to work together. So this was when we're trying to understand which part of the moments in the past 6 months was most important to the team. They felt like the team formation, cohesion, and the team culture that's been built was actually the most important thing. The second of it was actually the marketplace review. In order for us to be able to perform our job, we thought that we needed to perform a comprehensive review of the funded proposals and services currently in the marketplace to find their utility and how we can utilize them. So this was another very important thing. In doing that, we're able to know the state of a lot of projects that are currently on the marketplace. And since the marketplace is actually the goal of deep funding, obviously one of our most important mission, we felt like performing that comprehensive review was actually a big achievement for us generally. Exploring of possible partnerships. So we've had discussions with MIT, Hackathon, a lot of other potential partners, which we are hopeful that in 2025, most of these partnerships will actually find footing. But exploring those possible partnerships, going to places and having this engagement was for us a very big achievement in itself. Hackathons, we had over 30 persons who were introduced to deep funding, and we had from more than 10 countries due to this hackathon initiative. Some of them currently have moved on to write RFPs, some of them are joining town halls, and some of them are currently applying to circles. Most of them have actually registered on our deep funding portal. We felt like onboarding about 30 persons through just one hackathon was a big achievement for us as a circle and something we wish to do more. Service on borders, like I said on the chat, a lot of us are actually going to be moving from here, because we are actually currently working with our onboarders. So in case you don't know, this is actually a program that we come up with to teach developers on how to develop onboard apps to our marketplace. Currently about 20 plus people have registered for this initiative. And this will mean that so far, we have been able to onboard close to about 50 developers through the circle in the past 6 months. It is worthy of note that our circle placed the first three as our most important moments above the physical and loud achievements. Maybe these great achievements are defined by this unspoken act. So this is what I had to write down. This is just my personal note there, but I observed that the community or the circle placed more value on what I thought was not, but on this whole team cohesion and team spirit and everything as the most important moments. So I think it made me to comment that probably these are the things that most times we don't look at, and these things speak a lot to what we are going to achieve as a people. Plans and intentions for the next 6 months. Our plan is to at least organize one more hackathon in this for the next 6 months at least. So maybe we can push ourselves to do more. Partnership with potential stakeholders who will enable us achieve more of our goals, right? Our goal is to onboard more developers to the ecosystem. So we are where we see partners that are going to be able to help us to achieve this. We are going to do it. We currently have some initiatives that we are discussing. We have the DFAI Dev Mentorship Program. We are going to introduce what we call Scouts through the onboarders, and probably with us, we are still thinking on how the structures of these programs would be. Our goal is to actually onboard about 100 plus developers and more activity going on the marketplace. Our budget forecast for the next 6 months, circle expenditure about 15,000 USD. And for the projects, obviously, you can see most of the projects we are putting in here. It's actually going to be a lot. So we are estimating 40,000 for the projects. Hopefully we can, we don't know how this goes, but this forecast is actually based on what it has been like for us in the past 6 months. Main takeaway from this report. Point one, I think the learning point is the importance of teamwork, team cohesion, and team culture to success. And then another point there, which is our achievement, is that we've been able to onboard more than 50 developers directly or indirectly to deep funding. as a result of the activities and engagement of our circle. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Rubio. Any questions? Any remarks? Well, no questions, no remark. Vani has a remark or a question, please. Vani, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's just a remark. One of the things I really love about this circle is the little kind of summaries of the meetings that Andrea does in the channel. They're bloody brilliant, they're really clear, and they just help you keep up with what's going on. So yeah, kudos.
Thank you. Yeah, Andre, that's your flowers there.
Awesome work. And once again, congratulations on the hackathon. It was definitely a great move.
Thank you.
I got muted. Strange. All right. Cool. Thank you, Ubio. And now we can move forward. We can move forward with the marketing circle. I don't know who's going to present. Maybe Judith, if you have something ready to present as well.
Yeah, sure. I'll present. Share slides because it's proven that people mentally check out as soon as you share slides. So I'm not going to do it. And you can't read along that fast anyways, because we only have 10 minutes, so we have to like talk fast and it's very hard to focus. I'm not sure if people are able to still focus after that many presentations, but let's go. I'm gonna start with our biggest achievements and our biggest wins in no particular order. So it was number one, the homepage and website improvements. During the past months, the Marketing Circle collaborated with the website team and the UX team and the design team to improve the homepage, the flow of the homepage, the features, the design, the visual elements, the branding, the content, the trustworthiness, and the user friendliness. We showed some faces, we showed some pictures of you. If you haven't seen it yet, please visit deepfunding.ai. I love the new homepage because if you look at other DAOs or crypto or NFT, blockchain, whatever projects, when you go onto their website, you see no faces. It's always so anonymous. So annoying because it's so hard to build trust and connection if you don't see faces. So I think our new homepage is phenomenal. So please check it out. Second biggest win, I would say, we managed, although we were very few members, we managed to continuously communicate with the community and keep them updated on what is going on, and take more or less good care of the basics. I mean, it could have been better, but I mean, we did continuous social media announcements around everything that's going on. We regularly uploaded the recordings of the town halls and the all hands. We regularly did graphic design and cover images for blog posts. The newsletter was going out better at the beginning of the first half. Towards the end, it fell off because we lost a team member. But overall, I think we somehow managed to just do the basics continuously, and all the channels also regularly grew. Not a massive amount of numbers, because at the end of the day, we didn't have a round in the second half of the year, so there wasn't that much attention on deep funding, and assuming it's going to be different. And someone is sharing screen. I'm not sure if that's someone else's presentation. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. You, Victor?
I'm the only that she was not sharing, so I had to.
All right. Please continue, Judith.
Okay, cool. Third biggest win, I would say, was the participation in the Cardano Summit in Dubai, which was in collaboration with Rafael Cardoso's proposal. He was running a workshop to educate people around deep funding and the opportunities that we have. And he somehow got offered the opportunity to also have a deep funding booth there. And that's the part that the Marketing Circle participated in. So we went to the Cardano Summit and had a booth there for 2 days, which ended up in onboarding some really high quality contacts, I would say. Some of them actually participated in the hackathon, and I think some of them almost definitely gonna submit a proposal because they continuously are messaging us, asking us when the next round is gonna happen. And overall, I thought it was really cool in Dubai to see how positively people were geared towards SingularityNet. So many people knew about SingularityNet and they all had just nothing but positive things to say. So I thought it was great. Fourth biggest win was the hackathon promotion. We helped the Dev Outreach Circle to promote the hackathon, and you just heard how it went, so I don't have to add anything to that. Fifth biggest win, I'd say, I'm going to call it a win. It's going to be controversial. People are not going to agree with me, but we planned the Istanbul event and we made the bold decision to cancel it. I'm going to tell you why I think it's a win. So beginning of half of the year, we put tons of hours and money into this event. June, July, August, we were still fully just focused on planning. And at the beginning, it was fun and people were really excited until the day came that we actually had to ask members to take some tangible action on the event registration and like onboarding onto the travel platform and booking travel and all of that. So around after 2 or 3 months, all of a sudden this event planning became a big struggle because people had a lot of, I guess, excuses, and it really felt like people were looking like a way to get out of this, and we were facing a lot of resistance and getting them to commit or telling us if they actually want to go. At the end of the day, we said, okay, there's a certain date where you have to tell us if you want to come or not. And this was supposed to be an event for the circle members, kind of as an incentive trip for everyone who had been there for 6 months or longer. So we said, okay, by this date, we need to know if you want to commit. At the end of the day, by this date, we only had 6 responses out of 20. So we made a really hard decision. I'm going to say this was probably the hardest decision we had to make, at least from the marketing circle side. I don't know, I would say probably in all of deep funding. We made the decision to cancel it due to the lack of enthusiasm and commitment that we felt, and really felt people didn't really want it. But now actually looking back, I don't feel any regrets personally, and looking at who was invited and looking at how many of these people are not even in deep funding anymore, I would say we also made a good decision because people somehow disappeared. I think we learned some extremely important lessons. And with the decision, we communicated to the community that deep funding won't just spend time on money unless we really see a clear commitment from people that they actually want in-person events to be done. And we learned so many lessons. I could go on. I'm not going to spend any more time, but overall, I'm still seeing it as a win because of the lessons. Sixth biggest win, I would say, in December, we onboarded a whole new marketing circle. And in the past half year, we were 4 members, which wasn't nearly enough to do all the tasks. By December, we had onboarded 10 new members. Now we're 13, which is probably the biggest onboarding and deep funding circles in history of humanity. I think no other circle ever onboarded that many new members. And so far it's been a bit challenging, but you'll get the update in 6 months on how the whole thing turned out. I suppose we're still at the very beginning of it. Another win was the participation of the marketing circle in the 3 circles initiative. We decided that the dev outreach circle, the event circle, and the marketing circle is gonna meet every other week to discuss overlapping responsibilities like community engagement, onboarding new members, their community website, and creation of RFPs and online events. So that's been, I think, really helpful. Those were the biggest wins. Moving on to the lessons, we clearly saw that we need more capacity in the marketing circle. There was way too much to be done for just 4 members. And at the end of the year, we were left with 3 members, even worse. We also noticed that all communication in this environment and in the all circles requires explain it to me like I'm 5 approach. We clearly saw this in the last months that it really needs regular follow-ups. It needs like step-by-step instructions. So I mean, it's not bad. It's just it's good to know. No, it's good to know. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, we also noticed that a lot more patience is needed in this, like, working with the circle members, because we all have different backgrounds, different work ethics, different values. So we need a lot more patience with each other, and we need a lot of patience with the community in general. I think that was a big learning, and also to have fewer expectations in general. Yeah. For our intentions and plans for the next 6 months, we need to get the basics up and running again, because there's been some disruption because we had members leaving and now we have all these new members and everyone needs to know what they're doing. It's not going to be immediate, so bear with us. We also need to decide how this circle needs to be run in order to give everyone enough creative freedom to create and encourage self-sufficient action taking instead of being directed by the coordinators. That's going to be a challenge. We definitely want to increase community engagement. We put out so much content that was just information and updates. We really want to focus more on engaging our members and giving them a platform to authentically connect with each other, but also with the funding as the brand. And then we're hoping to add some partnerships and cross collaborations eventually, because it's a good way to grow a community. I mean, it's the best way to grow a community is to collaborate with other communities and kind of steal their members in an ethical way. Yeah, overall, the marketing circle is going to be focused on putting out content and opportunities for people to build real, authentic connections instead of just putting out a bunch of viral videos or hype content, whatever. We really want to focus on building authentic connections. In terms of financials and time spent, I think our members, like, it looks pretty equal, like around 250 hours average for the half year each we spent, with a total budget of, I don't know, $15,200. Now, in the next 6 months, that's obviously going to increase because we're not 4 members anymore. Now we're 13. It's really hard to forecast because we haven't decided even on our pay structure yet. We don't know how many members we're actually going to be. We might onboard more. We don't know who's actually going to contribute how many hours and what kind of extra projects we'll take on. So, I mean, this amount is so hypothetical because it's not based on any real data. So, I mean, I can assume that we're 13 members. If everyone just contributes 10 hours a week, so that would be 40 hours a month, and everyone gets paid 10 hours, that would average out to $31,200 over the 6 months. So that's about double the budget we had from the last 6 months. But yeah, we're also 4 times as many members. But yeah, I'm actually assuming it's going to be a bit higher. If we say everyone contributes 20 hours a week at a rate of 10 hours, $10 per hour, that would then average out to $62,400 for 6 months. It sounds like a lot, but it's also a lot of people. But then I guess it depends on how much content we actually want to put out. It's so hard to determine because marketing is never done. Like, you cannot spend, there's no such thing as spending enough money in marketing. You can spend unlimited money. You can spend $20 million and still not reach everyone. Like, it's just, there's no cap. No cap. So, I mean, you just have to decide on what do you want to spend, or / what can you spend. I'm not sure if we have $60,000 or even $30,000 for the marketing circle, but we'll see. All right. Yeah, any question? It's your turn.
All right, thank you. And you already did my work. Any questions?
Yeah,
or Mark? Oh, Ubio, go ahead.
yeah. I just Okay. I just wanted to know the thoughts that went into increasing the amount of people in the circle. Like that's a lot of people there. Yeah, I'm just thinking like, what are you guys considering with that amount of people?
Well, the thought behind it was because last year we basically had one person for the newsletter, and we had one person to put out social media posts, and we had one person to create graphics. So there was disruption whenever this person is not available. So we thought we need actual teams, like we need a newsletter team, and we need a social media team, and we need a website and content production team, so that we're not just reliant on one person. So people can go on vacation and they can get sick and they can decide to drop out, and there's not that much disruption like last year. So yeah, we decided to actually onboard like mini teams instead of just every person has one responsibility. It's just not didn't work out really well.
May I
But
complement? May I complement the answer, Judith? And sorry, Vani, just to give use the hook here. Jan mentioned about the review circle being one of the most important, or well, not with these words, of course, but the marketing circle, it is and will probably be even more the most demanded circle among the circles, because all other circles and deep funding itself will request marketing services. So what we have to do and need to do, it's exactly to make it more resilient to this fault, So if we keep a small group doing that, they are going to receive a lot of requests, and then we have to onboard more people, change people, or whatever is the process. So we have to have this in a more open way to be able to attend the other circles that are going to make their own requests. For instance, even if you write a blog post considering what we are doing in the community portal now, you are going to probably request an illustration from the marketing circle. So from a small thing to a bigger process, marketing will be requested. That's why also we are aiming for a bigger circle in this sense. Sorry, Vani.
No, not at all. Hi, Judith. I think I missed it in your report. How many people are actually in the circle now, and how many of them are new? And I guess my other question is like, how did you find them? What was the onboarding process?
Okay, so we have 13 members now. 3 of them are originals and 10 of them are new. To the onboarding process, probably Raphael can speak better to it because he did the onboarding meeting. I actually wasn't part of it because I had an overlapping meeting at the time. So Raphael, can you say something?
Yep. Sure, getting back. Yeah, we made awareness around these marketing needs. We didn't specify any thread. I mean, you have to know about a newsletter, or you have to be experienced in illustration design and etc. But we got a bunch of potential members that jumped in. I had a call with them where I explained the culture, or at least what we have here, and the way of doing the work. It was by the end of the year, also overlapping with holidays and etc. And then we started to do this process in a more experimental way, but also with proper work being requested by some parts, as I mentioned before, for them to operate. And now we are going to still through the process of bringing more people in. That might happen, and also creating this structure in members that they know how to operate by doing it as well. So that was the process. So deciding together as well the structure. Oh, are we going to be putting teams that operates that, or anyone can get what they wanna do and they are able to do? So this is up to the circle to decide and discuss internally. other question you had was?
No, that was it, I think.
Okay.
All right, Tommy, please go ahead.
Hey, Judith, great report. Great background. I like it when the window's open and we can see what's actually out.
There's lots of naked people behind me. That's what I can say. Lots of naked people on the beach.
And I think it was Mayer, but I don't want to blame him, but he threw the gloves down when he said they're the best circle. So now each circle, fortunately, deep funding focus group is not actually a circle, it's a group. Because then I would say focus group circle is the best. I think marketing really might be, and taking the note, which I've said oft from Cardano, the original people that developed it said that marketing should have the largest budget and should be permanent. So I agree with you, Judith. We've touched base on this a little bit in the focus group. Jan has, I'll say, punted on the topic a little bit, but you're asking for a big budget. But what I really want to know, because I'm old school, if you can't tell from the gray hair and everything else, and what I believe in marketing, in outreach, and community growth is done on a one-to-one basis. I believe actually shaking hands, meeting people, looking them in the eye in persona is probably the most important thing in marketing, which means conferences, community events, colleges, in my thoughts, getting out there and meeting the nerds and the developers and the people that you don't actually have to. And I'll use Eli 65 instead of Eli 5, only because it's more germane. What is the marketing circle's plans for the forthcoming year or 6 months for actually getting out and going to conferences to onboard, to bring people in to deep funding? And I'm sorry for being long-winded.
I'm so glad you asked because we discussed this for hours already. So, yeah. So first of all, any type of live event stuff is going to be discussed in the 3 circles thing. So it's going to be the dev outreach, the marketing, and the event circle that are going to discuss any type of in-person initiatives. So we had this idea. So we had 2 different ideas. One could be we could make it as an RFP approach where we put out RFPs and see how or who has opportunities to speak on stage or host an event or participate in an event and I don't know, have a deep funding booth. So it could be RFP based, or we could we thought we could set aside a smaller budget for now, where then everyone that's part of the 3 circles or the work group that wants to be involved in events, they can then discuss among themselves what should be done with this budget. Should it be spent on which conference should it be spent on, or should we host our own community events? But however, we were going to take a more conservative approach for now with the budget, just to see how it plans out and how this is working out. Because in the last year, we only had 2 in-person initiatives, like 2.5. We had the Istanbul, which is a half, which didn't work out so well. We had Cardano, which was, I would say, pretty good, and then, well, I guess NerdConf wasn't part of the marketing circle, but it was an deep funding focused event that also played out pretty well. Yeah, but still, we decided we're going to take a bit of a conservative approach for now. Set aside a smaller budget, see how it's working out. If we see the benefits, then we can always increase it. I mean, I agree with you that in-person is so important because it's the easiest way to build trust. If you meet someone in person, you're immediately going to trust this entire program way more because you have a person that you can text. You have like an insider contact. Like any program, anything that any brand that I ever got involved with and I was there in person, like my trust level increased times billion. And I mean, I host events. I know how important it is. We don't have to discuss it, but yeah, I think it may make sense to still be somewhat conservative about it and then see how it goes. I actually like the RFP idea where we just put out an RFP saying, hey, do you have an idea on running an event? But yeah, we'll see. That's just my preference.
Well, and I also asked because I see in Telegram channel, nerd conferences posting, set up your own nerd conference, 10 grand. Is there a limit on that budget?
The what? Set up your own NerdCon?
Yeah, nerd conference in the Telegram chat has a kind of a lead out there to, you know, set up your own conference and get 10 grand to do it.
Well, that's not part
There's
of
some
marketing,
confusion here.
Cities.
so I can speak
Take
to
away
it.
some confusion here. This is related to the community hub. We have an RFP out there for community hubs. And there's one enthusiastic person wanting to do a NerdConf Thailand community hub. But it's really a community hub. It's really not related to NerdConf. It should be branded as a deep funding hub, not as a NerdConf hub. So yeah, that's all I want to say about this. The whole thing about events is a topic in itself, interesting topic. My main concern is that it's not infinitely scalable. So probably we have to limit it by a budget and then within that budget, see how we can do it. An RFP, I'm totally open for that. An open challenge, which is not time bound, would be even a better way. And while I'm saying this, I'm thinking we won't have that online for half a year or something completely developed, etc. Maybe we can already start doing that without having all the functionality online. And that way also trying and seeing how it works. So, but that's a thought. We are doing the same thing with community-driven RFPs. We start with ideation, not having the whole flow online yet. To be continued.
Well, does that answer your question, Tommy?
It does, and it as Jan said, to be continued. That was the most important statement out of the whole thing. But thank you, and I think we all recognize how important it is.
Yeah,
And
2025, I want to see you in person. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's
Like-
always important. Yeah, it's always important.
back at
And Tommy, just to give you also commented it's a big budget, right? But that's exactly because of what I said. Marketing will serve the other circles. So it's not per se. One thing that we can discuss is perhaps anytime that dev outreach requests a task from marketing circle, it should come from the dev outreach budget. This is something that we can discuss as well, because marketing circle would be providing a service to another circle, but to be continued to be discussed as well. Okay, that's why it's a big.
One last remark on this. This ties into the discussion of next week about how do we reward. So imagine that the marketing circle would reward based on activity and not on hours or flat fee or whatever. Then you would have a kind of open-ended thing. And then the rewards would be tied one-on-one to what is actually delivered. A newsletter would amount this many amount of time. An image would take this amount of time. Not sure if that's the best thing, but it's one way of making sure that so it's one way of adding a budget. It's another way of making sure that we get the maximum value for that money. So yeah, all these things are tied together, and this is the beginning of that discussion. You offering your budget expectations. Next week we'll continue with the reward system, and then after that we'll try to tie everything together and settle down on some solutions.
Yeah, we can also discuss events as part of an incentive structure or alternative pay almost. I know there's a lot of companies that offer trips instead of payment. I mean, we could also look at that. I mean, we can discuss it. some people may rather go. So I know you hate events. Yeah, and you don't need to be part of the discussion because
To be
you're so
continued.
anti-events.
I'm not saying another word on this.
I said to be continued is the most important thing because if we continue this conversation, we're not gonna end.
I think we have one circle left. So
Two, yeah, and two. Two circles left because now, if everyone is fine, let's move on to the operations circle. Thank you, Judith. Sorry for not thanking you, but this conversation got too interesting, I think. A topic for a whole open all ends or a whole town hall, I guess. So for the operations circle, is it Jojo, maybe Victor presenting? Yeah.
I think it's Victor, yeah.
All right, Victor, you see you're compensating for all the times you don't want to speak in the town hall. Now to this town hall, you're speaking for for all those times.
Okay. This is the Operation Circles half yearly report, and over the 6 months, the Operation Circle we incurred a budget of about $18,000. August was our peak period. We got about $4,207 in August. And in August, we also had like 235 hours spent. And it's important to know that this spike in activities in August was because we were developing, that was the beginning of the ideation stage of developing the operation portal. And the first half-yearly reporting process started during August, right? And we also onboarded a new member to the team, Safa, during August too. So all these activities were the reasons why we speak during August. But aside August or aside the peak months, the cycle has maintained an average expenditure of about $2,700, and monthly time spent has been about 150 hours, right? So over the last 6 months, I'm talking about the perspective right now. We have made huge strides in improving our workflows and our systems and all those kind of stuff. And I will just be listing them, and I'll be very quick about it. The first and our major achievement for the last half year is the operation portal. We have made quite a number of presentations on that in the past, in either town hall or all hands. But if you have not seen it before, you just go to operations@deepfunding.ai. Sorry, operations.deepfunding.ai. And yeah, it's a portal where we integrate a lot of dashboards and documents at the back end and all this kind of stuff, so that you can see all kind of information on any team, any circles. Yeah, it's work in progress for some part of the portal, but some other parts are very good. Like you could look at it and have a comprehensive detail of whatever is going on. And so yeah, we have been improving, or we have been adding features, we have been improving the user experiences and all that. And during the past half year, we also did a lot of workflow automations. For example, the CSV and the CSV generation for payments for both the new circle, for both the circle members and the awarded teams, right? It's more smoother right now. It happens from the from the operations portal, and then there are workflow and automation processes that have reduced hours or manual efforts, just like contract generation, milestone reviews, payments, and all those kind of stuff. So yeah, the operations sector have been working on that. And yeah, the operations sector has also put together the deep funding manual, right? I think that was the job of the operations sector as at then. But I think right now there is a documentation work group on this. But yeah, the operation work circle, we put together this deep funding playbook and manual. I will share the link to the manual later in case someone doesn't have it here. And yeah, the operations circle has also been working on tax management improvements. So like we mentioned in the last meeting, Rojo is actually working on the documentation on how to record your tax. So we are working on this overview, like you as a second member or something, you have one sheet to record your tax and keep taking it like that and all those kind of stuff. We are actually working on documentation for that. And yeah, the operation circle has also been responsible for data. Right now, we actually have a data analysis circle. So I guess a lot of this will be moved over to them. But for the past 6 months, it has been the work of the operation circle to work on data and like, for example, the all circle overview that I presented at the beginning of this call, yeah, it's from operation, something like that, and other kind of stuff. And I think the individual financial and time spent for each of these circles that circles have been presenting so far, yeah, came from the operation circle. So stuff like that are what we have been doing. And I think the operation circle has also gotten feedback from community, especially when we first rolled out the operation system, the first version. So we got different feedback, and we have also been we have also worked on something like tax request system for the circles, and maybe that one is not public as that's right now, but yeah, we have been working on something like that. And there is also a improved process gotten from community feedback on how we can change your wallets, how you can adjust your milestones, and yeah, all these processes are now streamlined, and I think it's more simplified across Circle right now. And yeah, for the past 6 months, the operation circle has also been responsible for circle for website updates. The website update, not the kind that Judy was talking about. Our own is just the back end. So we are responsible for updating the payments to awarded teams, the link to their deliverable, the link to the reports from the review circle. So this kind of stuff, yeah, with the operation circle have been in charge of that. So we have basically been in charge of like 7 points. I don't know if I'm missing anyone. I don't think I'm missing anyone, but yeah, this is what we have actually been doing for like the past 6 months. And moving forward for the next 6 months, we are just looking forward to enhancing everything that we have been working on. The portal, adding new improving our user experience, adding new features, optimizing the access. Like, for example, now there's going to be different sections in the portal. Coordinators are going to have their session with some information that will not be available for the members, for all the ordinary eyes to see, and all those kind of stuff. So there's going to be logins in the portal and all those kind of stuff. So something that we plan for the next 6 months. And automation is going to be improved. Like I said, the tax request system, it's live. I don't know if it's live for the general, but it's live within the operation circle. And this kind of stuff now, you request for tax amongst your circle and you get pinged when a tax is being requested for and all this kind of stuff. I guess we'll work on an announcement for that. The deep funding manual, I don't know if it's going to be us or if it's going to be the documentation circle, but yeah, we'll work on the deep funding manual. We're going to work closely with the data analytics circle to provide them with data and all this kind of stuff. And of course, we will try to make the deep funding website to be auto updated, right, through APIs and all this kind of stuff instead of the manual stuff that we are actually doing. And for budget forecasting, I talked to Rojo and he felt like, okay, let's put it this way. So we are 4 in the operation circle. So we feel like maybe we could get 800 per month as an average for coordinators and 500 per month for circle members. This is just, I mean, how do I put it? But this is just, we're just testing it out. I don't know. We just, yeah. And then we just included like a 20% buffer for any for costing second expenses. So if you do these calculations with 2 coordinators and 2 circle members, it will need like plus the 20% buffer, it will amount to about 18,700. And this figure is almost like our total figure for the past 6 months. So it's kind of adds up, I don't know. So main takeaways is the portal, the workflows, and all of that stuff I mentioned up here. So yeah, that's everything about the operations software.
Thank you, Victor. Awesome work. I wonder if anybody has questions or remarks for operations and for Victor.
Quick one. Sorry, Jan, you raised the hand. So.
You go first. You go first.
Okay, Victor, nice work. Very good. Question. This budget that is going to be, well, requested, does it involve the data analytics? Because now that we are splitting, perhaps.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay. Let's check later. Please, Jan.
I don't have a question, but I have a remark, in addition, if you want. So Victor explains a lot about what we want to do with the automations portal, how it will connect to the website and automate things there, how it will be role-based. You have all kinds of reports and insights, how it will support our writing and payment. You know, that's a lot. And it would never be possible to do that from the budget that is mentioned here. And that is also not the case. So a small detail that you forgot to mention, I think, or I didn't hear here, Victor, is that we are planning to outsource the development of that work. Right now, Roho and his team are creating a definition, a specification, are going through a specification phase very, very thoroughly. So we'll have a technical design, or we'll have a functional design, and based on that, we will decide how to go forward, and we will know exactly what the scope is. There are also reasons why we do this in well, a little bit centralized way. First of all, the people working on it are the people that already know all the ins and outs. We could also go for an RFP. That would be the additional way. It would mean that we would lose a lot of time for creating the RFP, for making clear what we need from that team, to make them understand everything around deep funding. And then at the outcome would be very uncertain, because we are not sure whether they understand and what their quality is and what they are doing. So we have now a very good start with the operation portal, and we want to continue on that and give that an extra push. However, the idea is also that with that push, we'll create a framework, we create a very good foundation with most of the things that we think right now are necessary. But as it goes in life, and you can see that in these reports that we're seeing today as well, when you've achieved something, there are 5 new things emerging that you also want to do. That is how we grow in deep funding as well. So I expect that to happen with the automation, backend automation as well, the operation portal, whatever. So we want to make that foundation in such a way that when we have it, that afterwards, if we want to have additional functionality on top of that, it would be possible to do that through an RFP. So we're balancing speed and quality with a future of more decentralized approach. Ubio.
All right, thank you. So I just want to know, the developer outreach circle we discussed some time ago, I think December, that we would actually need a hackathon portal. So I want to know if that will be you guys' job to define what it will be like. Are you guys the one to develop it, or you outsource? What is the interrelationship? Because all what we know is that we needed to inform you guys, and that was it. So I just want to know, are you guys the one to do it?
Great question. Allow me to answer, because this is not related to the operations or the backend automation. This is related to the 3 circles of which you are part. And Marcelo, he's still here. Actually, he showed me today a design. And this will be done primarily initially as a part of the community website. So not the operations portal, but the community website. That will have a section around hackathons, and that will be a section that we can expand over time. And it can start with more like informational, and also develop an outreach circle, and also by person of Andrea have given a lot of input already for a first start there. Not quite sure what the status of that is actually, but there are so many moving parts currently. I can imagine that over time it will not just be informational, but it will also offer tooling and ways to contribute, etc. That will make it more complex and more like a tool. And I don't know where it will end. Maybe it will be a separate website or another environment or whatever. But Ubio, you will be on the steering wheel there. Together with the other three circles, you will have to define the priorities for the community websites. And I had this exact conversation with Marcelo today. I would expect the developer outreach circle to say, listen, on the community website, we want to have a hackathon page, and it has to have these kind of features, and I would like to see it there. Similarly, I would expect the event circle to tell the three circles, and Marcelo in this case, listen, we want to have a space for community hubs, and each community hub page should have this and this and this information or functionality. I'm not sure if that has already started. Maybe it's a little bit too soon. We don't know where that will go. So, and I could go on and on. So the community website is really about everything about the community, and also a platform for the circles. So each of you, each circle here, could be in touch with Marcelo, with the three circles, maybe through the three circles, maybe through IO actually, to let the web team know what your requirements and preferences are for that website. And then we will prioritize it. Not everything will be done on one day, and we'll sort out what is most urgent and most important.
To be continued. Yes.
All right. I hope that question is answered, Uvio.
Yeah, to be continued. That's the best.
To be continued. Awesome. So now I guess we can move forward, and then we can move forward to the event circle. And we prepared a little PowerPoint just because our report was too comprehensive. So we made it easier in the PowerPoint, and I'll try to keep it simple for you. We did put an overview of the costs and how they have grown, but that has been a little bit already discussed, and also the hours that has been discussed by Victor more in depth. So I'll go over that. Maybe I'm ready. One thing important that we could say is that there is a bit of a different, like in reality, we had more hours in November than December, but we had like a report that caught half of November and the first week of December. So basically, it got put into December, but in reality, the month with the most work was November. December was almost there, but the holidays didn't allow it to be the month with the most work. But we can go through the task, and I think the first task and achievement was naturally the creation of the event circle and gathering the team, understanding our capacity, like our skills and what we wanted to do and contribute, and also getting processes ready for us to deliver the different things. And we started with the town hall. Basically, as we were formed, we had to continue delivering this town hall, and we gladly didn't stop it while we started organizing ourselves as a team. Then we also had the Open All Ends, a new initiative that made a few changes between the town hall. It was weekly, then it was bi-weekly, and now the Open All Ends was a new call, more for governance, more for discussing between circles and what we are doing, with, of course, two different Open All Ends, one in the middle of the month, open for us to chat about anything we believe is important, and another with the monthly update so we can all be on track of what we are doing and also share it with the community. Besides that, and after we actually figured out what's the best way to deliver the things we had to do, we actually start putting that in paper and actually creating more formal processes just for the team to be able also to cover each other, because sometimes when one of us was missing, it was hard for us to know and to cover completely what the other was doing. Also, in terms of the town halls and open all lands, we introduced several improvements like metrics that Mayor started gathering and created a whole process for that, like registration, like these new features and permissions to stop trolls. A lot of things. You can read it all in the report. Of course, we had also the community website launch, which we did a lot of work, especially IO, in populating this website, in participating in the development and the launch of this. And especially for the last 2 months, we continued everything we were doing with the events, but on top of that, we added work with community hubs. We had some ideation with the wider community, and then we started writing these ideas into paper. We felt the need. We also moved from town halls, regional town halls, which was the initial idea, to community hubs, which is broader, more complex. And then we also felt the need to create a framework that could help guide the interactions and the support between the event circle, the community hubs, and also the rest of deep funding. Yeah, this was a little bit of what we've done and what we want to do. Well, if you know, I forgot to mention, but we did a feedback survey. Thank you to everyone who answered about our events in December, and from that we gathered a few ideas of things we want to do new. And I've shared a little bit more on that on the report if you want to check it out. So we'll try to do those ideas, implement them, test them. It's also, I think, very important work for us to support the community hubs, which will have to do their own events and try to engage their community. So the more insights we have on different strategies and ideas, the better we can support them with actual knowledge and not just theory. We, of course, want to continue running our events and what we've been doing so far. Wait a minute, I have the Zoom thing on top of what I've written. Of course, we want to keep updating the community website, maintaining it up to date with events, with recordings, with blogs and everything the Circle has been doing, which has been a work from AYO so far. And of course, now we have other things coming, like the community hubs, now this page from the dev outreach. So let's see how the community hub keeps growing and what we'll do and what work it will be for us to keep updating it. And as we are now in a more stable phase, we have more processes, and we also expect to have more work. We want to start diving into growing the team with 1 or 2 extra members. Just for everyone to know, we want to be selective. We want people who would be comfortable, for example, hosting this town hall, communicating, would like events, and if they have any experience that's desired. So we'll try to find the right people and not just rush it. We also have the 3 Circle collaboration, which was something that was started. I mean, we had the first call, I think, in December still, and now we'll start having more regular calls. And hopefully that will be important for overall marketing of deep funding. We have the community hubs RFP live, and now it's a process of we already communicating with some of the people who have proposed, and it's a process of doing that communication, gathering information, do a selection, onboarding them, and then start operations. And for these, I think it's going to be 6 months with a lot of creation, a lot of ideation of this process, which is completely new, and it's very unknown what will come out of it, but we have high expectations of good results. This is the priorities, but if we have time, we would still want to think about more outgoing events. So we have the open all hands and the town hall, which is a lot for our community. Sometimes we receive new people, but it's good community events to keep everyone engaged above all. And maybe we should think about doing other events like Twitter Spaces or other participating in other online events where we could maybe focus more on outreach as an event circle. And that's something that we could eventually explore if we have time. It will depend on the rest of the things. And also one thing that was mentioned that can be done by the 3 Circles, and that if it's not done by the 3 Circles, we would love to do it, is to do a bit of research on live events. I think that's the natural step for the event circle, but I think it's also important to have a notion of the options we have, the effectiveness, have more data, and be more prepared to really justify this push and to come with a strategy for this push to be I don't know, well delivered and have the results we want. For estimation, this is kind of an average, but we did a total hours. You have a 21,600 in terms of work and 1,824 hours in total. And basically, the estimation was more taking into consideration the kinds of tasks we have and trying to understand how this should evolve. And with the three-circle strategy, with adding a new member and also with the community hubs, we do expect to have a slight increase in terms of calls for communication and to get a collaboration going. We also, in terms of event preparation, in some of the ideas, we do expect a slight increase in times of event preparation. In terms of town halls, we actually had a decrease lately of the time town halls, open all ends, like the events we deliver. We actually been having a decrease in the number of hours we spend with that, which is good. It means that the preparation we are doing allows us to keep the events more on time, and which we are not making today. Wow, awesome. Yeah, so that's good, and we hope to keep that stable as well. We do expect to have a lot of creation of new processes, new documents, new things with the community hubs and also with the onboarding of the new team members. So that's something we are going to be working on. Of course, this is an average. Some months will be more, others less. We, of course, will have regular tasks with community hubs as well. And the community website, which is something that we have also decreased in the number of hours compared to the previous period, because even though we are going to keep doing new things, in the beginning, I had to put a lot of hours for starting from zero, and now we have a more stable situation. That's it. So yeah, let's hope we can all keep growing deep funding together. Thank you. Any questions?
Are you expecting the onboarding circle to be here as well? Because the team there is willing to. So we would fit the 10 minutes exactly in the 2 hours. So it would be achieving your goal.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, if you have things to talk, we can also extend a little bit as long as everyone is okay. We want to be
Yeah, for
respectful.
instance, I can't. I have to jump to another call. So
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Onboarding circle. Is there anybody here? They've put out a report for the future, right? But I don't know who's part of it besides Monica.
Funny,
I mean,
funny and love.
I could do it unless you want to.
Yes, please. You
No,
already
go
have.
for it, Bunny.
Okay. All right, let me just screen share and I'll keep it quick, and thanks everybody for making time for it. It's a new circle, as most of you know, so we just kind of wanted to flag up a little bit what we're doing just for awareness. So 4 of us at the moment, and we're looking to take on a couple more people eventually. So yeah, we can't report on our financials, but we have discussed how we think payments for the circle should be managed. While we're new, we want to keep the legacy approach of $10 an hour, log your hours, it's fine, and will help us get a bit of a baseline data on how much time we're spending. But longer term, people would like to move to either a monthly stipend, as we feel like the work will be fairly evenly shared, or alternatively agreeing a price per task, but we're conscious that we really want to keep the taxonomy of what the different tasks are quite broad. So we're not going to get too granular about, oh, this is a slightly different task than this one. Retrospective, obviously, as a new circle, we can't report on this yet in this context, but we can say that we'll be drawing on onboarding experience that 3 of us have had in the SNet Ambassador program. And we'll be looking retrospectively at our own and other people's experiences of onboarding to deep funding to help us think about how onboarding is working. It's quite nice that Love, who's here today, is relatively new to deep funding, so she's got insights of what it was like recently, and the rest of us, and Monica actually too. But then Sophia and I have been around for a little while, so it's quite interesting to have that input. But we're also going to be looking at input from everybody to try and find out what onboarding is like at the moment. We also note that in the ambassador program, we learned that onboarding is not a one-off event that only happens when you first join. It's a continuous process. So we hope to address that whole continuous onboarding process in the work that we do. Our plans and intentions for the next 6 months. We recognise that onboarding is different for different circles, and we want our role to be descriptive, not prescriptive. So rather than saying this is what onboarding should be like, we want to be mapping what the onboarding process actually is like in different circles and collecting info from you all on how you do it. So I think that was prompting my question to Judith earlier, going, oh, how did you onboard the new people that you've had? Once we've got that from every circle, we want to analyse the information, try to identify any gaps or bottlenecks, and ideally share the ideas that we've heard from each different circle so that everybody can be inspired by each other. If we have like some sort of a document where, oh, this circle does it like this circle does it like that, circles might look at it and go, oh, yeah, that too. We will implement the analysis that we've done, ideas that circles can adopt or tweak, or importantly, that they can ignore if they don't think it's very good. We will then support any circles who tell us that they actually need extra people to help them improve their onboarding process. So we can be like general onboarding docs bodies. We can help draft documents, documentation. We can do outreach. We can devise mentorship or skill sharing programs and stuff like that. Just as a kind of our initial conversations, we have sort of suggested that mentorship and that one-to-one connection with someone when you come in could be something that is quite important for helping people feel onboarded. There is this whole thing of, it's not just knowing the facts and figures and where to look for the data, it's also feeling part of something. In the longer term, our focus is going to be on like general onboarding to deep funding itself, and then the circles will take it from there once somebody is in. So we'll probably end up collaborating with any outreach initiatives that emerge, and we see our remit as possibly covering in the long term how people change roles, how they move into new circles or out of a circle that they no longer want to be in, and perhaps even how a circle comes to an end and how the learnings from it are carried forward. All part of onboarding, we think. We also note that part of good onboarding is ensuring that people have access to clear documentation and information and know where to find it. So we see ourselves collaborating a fair bit with the documentation work group. Budget forecasting, rough estimate, we're seeing it as 5 people doing about 20 hours a month. So yeah, about £1,000. Main takeaways from this report. Onboarding is continuous, as we said. It doesn't stop once you've joined the program. It's an ongoing thing. And so our work is going to cover how people develop their skills, move between roles, and even how circles come to an end and start. The other insight is that it's circle by circle. Each circle is going to onboard in its own way that's appropriate to it. And our work needs to be descriptive, not prescriptive. So we're mapping what the process is like and supporting circles to make improvements they want to make and to share information so that circles can learn from each other's approaches. That's about all we wanted to say.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vanny. Any questions? Any comments?
Great value for money. Wonderful.
Wishing the best for this circle. It's a very important process and
All right. So I guess Rafael, maybe you want to say a few words about deep funding and
well, I have 3 minutes,
No
so it's a
problem.
pitch, like elevator pitch, right?
you can do it's okay to go 2 minutes above the hour.
No, I have a call next. Yeah, guys, everyone here, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I when I started the call here, I told Rafael and the team, I said, yeah, no, I'm not feeling that well, so I probably not be that sharp and etc. But you guys were my medicine during this call. The injection of energy and to see this happening made my morning, day way better. Thank you very much for that. I can't stress how happy I am with what we did in 2 hours here. Of course, now because we were working before, but it was really heartwarming to see your engagement, your commitment to this here. It's exactly what we need. And yeah, let's go forward. Starting, I had a list of also past and plans, but I'm not going through because it might take too long. But I do have some remarks here, and I made a small list here to not lose the track. So the to be continued that we are discussing here, it's very important, and I hope that the circles on the topic, right, and structure these discussions and also document it, which is very important. Okay, instead of waiting for the deep funding, I mean the core, Rafael and Jan should take the lead and say, yeah, oh, we discussed this and this needs to be discussed. So each of the to be continued that we talked here, it's a part of a circle. So please go with that. Next time in these half yearly reports, we'll at least it's something that I would like to see is that we can cross what we planned with what we did. So we are going to get the reports from this report, for instance, with the plans, also the budget that you are requesting here. Of course, it's not because you requested that's going to have. We have to be continued some discussions around it. But then we are going to cross with what you did 6 months from now and check how was the plan versus the executed, okay? On top of what we are doing already. Also very important, and I save it for the last, is that we are going with a round, but it's not round 5. It's a partnership, let's put this way, with the BGI Nexus group, which is from SNet, of course. Most of you, if not all, already knows what it is. And we are going to have this special round with them around BGI. So tomorrow in the town hall, we are going to have more information about it. So I'm not going to go too far here. Go tomorrow, please, to the town hall and also about documentation. Please, let's find a way to document all these reports here and videos and etc. in a way that is easy. So for the work group to think as well. Okay. Thank you very much again. I have to jump. Really happy. You are great. See you soon, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.
Alright. See you, Rafael. I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything. Some final words.
Maybe in one sentence. Great work, everybody. Love it. I think what stood out for me most out of all these presentations is we're growing and we're maturing. And that is a big compliment to all of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. So thank you all so much. Ayo, you want to be the last word? Come on, go in. Are you speaking, Ayo? You're muted. All right. I guess you don't want to speak anymore. All right. What a good way to end. Well, all right. Thank you, everyone. If you want to say something, you still have time. Well, thank you, everyone. As Rafael said, we'd love to see you tomorrow in the town hall at 6 p.m. UTC. We have exciting presentations about the round, about an RFP that is also coming. So definitely a town hall not to miss. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your work. And we hope all these plans come to life and that we have a lot of success for the next 6 months. So bye bye, everyone. Thank you.